Billy Ray. We check in on the Corky's Hotline with the head coach at San Diego State.
Oh
yeah.
That's it.
As Aztecs single-game tickets go on sale 32 minutes from now at goaztecs.com and 619-283-SDSU, or even down in person at the Qualcomm ticket office. Rocky Long joins us now on the Scott and BR Show. Coach, how are you this morning? Good morning.
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Very well, sir. We're doing very well.
Coach.
As we look ahead to the opening of your season, which will open on time. It's not going to be any sort of lockout situation, right? You're going to go on time, right?
Well, I hope we don't have a lockout. I didn't think we were paying them, but I guess people think we should.
Well, you know what? And in your industry, it's a very strange topic these days. But no, you're right. Nobody's getting paid. There's no lockouts. There's no employees per se.
But Rocky, if there's a lockout, I mean, I think you got a shot at getting in that Padres bullpen. That was a very nice opening pitch.
Yeah. Very impressive.
It wasn't very good, but at least it didn't hit the ground before it got there.
Right, and that's all we ask. Is it hit the catcher's mitt, absolutely. How'd you enjoy that? It was Thursday night before the Giants game. How'd you enjoy it?
Well, I thought it was a big-time deal. It's like a little kid in a candy store. I enjoyed it a bunch, and Buddy actually being the catcher made it kind of special. But I'll tell you what, as old as I am, I was really nervous that I was going to embarrass myself.
Well, I don't think that happened in any sort of way, but
No.
as you're getting out there, and these were big crowds this weekend. We had over 150,000 at the 4 games.
Throwing strike.
Yeah, just throwing a strike up there. I think you did a great job. Great job.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but it took forever to get up there.
Well, hey, that's all right. There was no velocity, no gun, okay?
That's right.
We just want to hit to if it was in the strike zone or not. Tell us how you guys are moving forward now toward the opening of your season on September the 3rd against Cal Poly, the home slate including TCU, Boise State, and Fresno State as well. As we hit the 18th of July, where are you at?
Well, the players been working out all summer. They got about 2.5 weeks left, and then they get a week off, and we start camp August the 8th. So it's coming up real quick, and like you said, we got a great home schedule.
TCU and Boise State both on there, and with the conference realignments beginning, Fresno State not necessarily a member of the Mountain West until next year, but they too are on the schedule. They will finish things out at home, but you got 3 of those games, 4 really, one against a Pac-12 school, and then TCU, Boise State, and Fresno State all on the line as well.
Well, I tell you, we play them at home, and hopefully that means we play better at home. And Fresno State coming back, that adds a big rivalry to the deal, which is really neat.
Coach, having Ryan Lindley coming back, I mean, as a head coach, how much easier does that make your life?
Well, right now he's made my life real easy because it's basically his team, and you talk about quarterbacks taking charge. He's kind of running the off-season workouts during the summer, and you can tell things are good when a quarterback can get on a defensive guy and it doesn't turn into a fight. I've been told that he's taking charge, and everything's been going well out there.
And when I look at Ryan Lindley, Coach, you look at players like Andrew Luck, obviously, who's going to be a Heisman Trophy frontrunner, Landry Jones at Oklahoma, who's going to be part of maybe the number 1 team in the nation, Matt Barkley, maybe Kellen Moore, for instance. But you look at maybe the top 5 returning quarterbacks in the entire nation, and I got to put Ryan Lindley on the list, don't I?
I think Ryan's right with those guys.
Yep.
I don't know what they have as supporting cast. Ryan's going to be probably a little hampered early in the season because he's going to have real young receivers to throw to. But we've got a good tailback, so the running game will be more important, and we're going to use a little play-action pass and try to break some of those young guys free. But I think Ryan's in the same category as the guys you mentioned.
Coach, you got 5 returning starters on defense. Can you give us a name that needs to step up and be the guy?
Well, I can't really give you a name. I mean, Miles Burris is the one getting all the notoriety, and he's really a good player. But we play so many guys on defense, and they play about half the time each, so it's kind of a by committee defense.
Well, and again, Miles Burris has been named a lot of these preseason award lists. You got a couple of those guys, including Ronnie Hillman, including Ryan Lindley, too. But on the defensive side, Burris is going to be the focal point, right?
Well, he had a great year last year, and he's plays outside linebacker, so he gets to rush the quarterback a lot. And if he has the same kind of year he had last year, he'll be up for some of those awards too. But like I said, we play so many guys on defense, and we think we got some really good players, and we try to keep them fresh and healthy and playing at a high level. And we got to bump it up. I think we've gotten better on defense, but we got to get a whole lot better so that we can support the offense.
Yeah, Rocky, and I remember when I was calling the games at UCLA and you were the defensive coordinator there, how much I appreciated your defensive scheme And you're talking about the guys that you would put out on the field, and there were very few guys on that defense that wouldn't see some action almost every single game, and it keeps them pretty much into the system, and it keeps them into the game, and it really makes for a much more well-rounded defense once you take the field on game day.
Well, that's the theory. I mean, you practice better because they all know they're going to play. You play some young guys that probably wouldn't get to play in most schemes, and so if you have an injury or two, you can step a guy in there with some experience. Plus, you never start a season without guys that have played some. And the theory has worked most of the time every place I've been, and we've improved a lot on defense, but we're not. I mean, I'm used to having a top 25 defense, and we're not there yet. So hopefully this year we will be.
Mm-hmm.
Aztec head coach Rocky Long joining us via the Corky's hotline this morning for the Scott and BR show. Single game tickets for San Diego State go on sale now 27 minutes from now, 619-283-SDSU, down at the Qualcomm Stadium ticket office and online at goaztecs.com. 7 home games for you, Coach, in your first year as you take back over the reins. Gotta love 7 home games on the schedule to start things off.
Well, 7 home games is a wonderful thing, and season ticket holders get to see a lot of really, really good teams. The problem with that is we're playing really good teams.
I know.
Which is fine. I mean, we want to play good teams because we want to compete against the best, and we want to show people that we belong. But that puts a little bit more pressure on you when those people are at your place.
And it just seems like, Coach, everybody's going to be focusing on that game at Michigan, September 24th.
Yeah, everybody wants to. I keep downplaying that. And
yes,
we heard you laugh.
Yeah,
that week will be fine. But people seem to forget that the last 2 times Cal Poly played down here, Cal Poly won.
I don't forget that, unfortunately. Oh, boy.
Well, I'm glad you remember because people around here like to forget. Now, we haven't forgot, so that's the most important game. You know, that sounds like a cliche, but it is just because of the success they've had here.
Yeah, and that would be 7 p.m. on September the 3rd, the opening weekend of college football. You mentioned the offense, Coach, and I don't think that Ronnie Hillman's going to fly under the radar now, and he's going into his sophomore year. He's going to be a lot more of a focal point for opposing defenses. He's not going to be flying under the radar.
I think he'll be more of a focal point because we don't have experience out at the wideouts.
Right.
I mean, we've got a great quarterback, and he can throw the ball, but our wideouts haven't proved themselves yet. So I think people will stack the box or put people near the line of scrimmage to prevent Ronnie from having a big year. But then those boys out on the outside got to do something to open up the running game. You can't take both away.
Yeah, and Ryan will just be drooling as he sees him stack the box, right?
Well, he will because he'll have a lot of one-on-one situations out there. But those young guys got to run the right route, and they got to catch it.
Is Ryan Lindley, Coach, in your opinion, a first-round draft pick? The quarterback position is such an overvalued, but I get, unfortunately, probably very much valued correctly in the National Football League. Do you think it's a first-round draft pick?
Gee whiz, I'm not smart enough to know how those guys evaluate quarterbacks. But if he's, I think he's as good as the guys you mentioned, and if they're first-rounders, he is too.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? That's the way that the draft went this year for 2011, 2012 draft. You see the quarterback-heavy nature of it. I wouldn't be surprised at all for Ryan Lindley. Coach, thank you very much for the time this morning. Very much appreciate it, sir.
Thanks, Rocky.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
You bet.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, so Aztec single-game tickets are on sale today. They started at just $11 for any of those 7 home games, including Boise State, Fresno State, TCU, Washington State. A lot going on for San Diego State starting on September the 3rd.